You're listening to episode 45
of This Thing of Ours podcast.
So we realized last week that we forgot to say the answer to the riddle.
Yep, we sure did. I don't know how we did, but we noticed it when we were editing.
Yeah.
Like, wait, where's the answer to the riddle?
I know.
So, do you want to go over what the riddle was for anybody who wasn't here last week?
Yes. So I'm going to repeat the riddle. But if you were here last week, did you guys know the answer? Did you guys think about the answer? So the riddle from last week was, first you throw away the outside, then you cook the inside, then you eat the outside, and then you throw away the inside. What am I?
See, I don't know. I could have swore it was like an egg or something, or like a hard-boiled egg, because some people throw away the yolk.
Mm-hmm.
So you throw away the outside, and then you cook the inside of it,
Mm-hmm.
and then once it boils, some people only eat the outside and throw away the inside. So that's what I'm thinking.
That's a good educated guess, hypothesis. That's a good hypothesis, I guess.
But I'm going to say it's probably wrong.
Yes, it is wrong. But that's your guess, right? That's your answer.
That's my answer.
All right, what was your answer? You ready for the answer, though, to this podcast riddle?
I am ready for the real answer.
Okay, the answer...
It's probably something very obvious once I hear it, but...
The answer to this riddle is the corn on a cob.
Okay, no, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's the answer.
Yeah,
corn on a cob.
You peel it, you throw away that, then you cook it, the inside of what you originally had, then you eat the outside, just the corn, you throw away the cob.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. Very similar to an egg.
Yes, it is. Somewhat similar, yes.
But no one actually eats the cob.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think, anyway.
I don't know if you can.
I would hope people don't, but...
I don't know. I'm sure it's edible.
It might be.
Yeah. I don't know. Let me know if you guys have eaten the cob before or
No,
pieces of it.
Definitely have not.
Yeah.
Definitely have not. But let me tell you guys what Amelia did to me today.
Excuse me? What did I do to you? What did I do?
So earlier this morning, we're out on the balcony and it's been raining for like the past week, and we forgot to bring the patio furniture, like cushions, inside, so they're soaked. So we have to stand them up so they, drip a bit and dry faster. So as we're out there,
you're just waiting to snitch on me.
As we're out there, I didn't notice it. I didn't pay attention because it's not something that really and truly bothers me. But I guess there was a bug, some type of bee, some type of fly that was flying around. And Amelia just freaked out, said, "Come on, Chuckit, let's go, grab your toy," and ran inside. And I didn't think anything of it. I just kept doing what I was doing outside. And then I go inside. This girl locked me outside.
I didn't do it on purpose.
Literally just left me outside, not a care in the world, and locked me outside on top of that. Like, if we had to actually run inside and I was behind her, would she lock me out? Like, let's say a bear was chasing us or something. You got home before me. Mm-hmm. Would that just be a reaction? You lock the door and I'd be stuck outside?
Well, no. I would see you running behind me, but unless I Trumpet with his toy in his mouth.
You just said it was like a natural reaction. So
well, as I close the door, I'm obviously going to see you behind me. I'm not going to close the door and lock you out.
I don't know anymore.
So what? Did you have a flashback of when you had to run back into your house?
Well,
or into your friend's house?
No, but I don't know. If you guys were here last week, we did talk about when I was younger and I kind of got traumatized by the wasp. Like, I mean, I'm not really scared of them anymore. I've gotten stung many times since then. But that was a pretty traumatic experience as a child. Mm-hmm. But if you weren't here last week, here's a little flashback of that part of last week's episode.
Yep, here's what you missed.
But yeah, we were playing back there, and we were playing around some trees, and we stepped on a wasp nest.
A wasp nest?
Yes, we stepped on a nest. So
what do you mean? Like you were just walking, not paying attention, and just your foot just went whoop right through it? Or
I don't know if it was me who stepped on it or if it was him.
mm-hmm.
All I remember is hearing the noise. I was like 6 or 7 years old. I was young. I remember hearing the noise. Like, I'm like literally traumatized from this.
I can tell.
I'm literally traumatized.
The way he's telling the story, you can definitely tell he is.
I heard the noise, and he started running. My friend started running, and I saw them chasing him, like literally chasing him. And I just stood there in like shock. Like I didn't even know what to do. I just closed my eyes and I just stood there, and they didn't sting me. But then, so that was a little flashback of last week's episode. We talked about many different things. So if you're interested, go watch that one after this.
We'll leave a card to the last episode above the screen, and also it's in the description.
It wasn't
below.
Only about bees. There was a topic. What was it even?
It was confidence.
Yes.
And then we had many topics surrounding confidence in that podcast episode.
Yeah.
So if you're interested in it, it's episode 44.
But you know what's funny actually?
What? What's funny, Kurtis?
I feel like every weekend, I feel like Trumpet knows it's the weekend. So if you're new here, Trumpet is our dog. This is Trumpet
third
here.
Host.
I feel like he knows it's the weekend.
Yeah, he does, definitely. He knows our schedule.
Yeah, he definitely does. Like, we get home Friday, he's like all excited. Like, I mean, you're already home Friday. So I guess that kind of reassures him that it's now the weekend because you're home, I go to work. But then Friday night, he knows that we're both home and we're both going to be home for the rest of the weekend. And he's like, this is the time we go for long walks. This is the time we go to the park and we play. And yeah, it's just, he knows the routine.
Yeah. And I just want to give a little product of the week shout out to Chuckit.
To Chuckit, yeah.
If you don't know what Chuckit is and you have a pet, Chuckit is a very durable brand for dogs. I actually think it is.
Yeah, they make basically like toys you can basically play fetch with. The one that we have specifically, it's just basically a rubber ball.
Yeah.
But it is kind of squishy. But like he squishes it right down, and he doesn't puncture it, doesn't break it, nothing. Like it's actually very durable.
Yeah, and if you had other toys and you have a dog, you know those toys only last like 2 minutes before there's a hole, before there's a rip, before the stuffing comes out. Yeah, so Chuckit is a very good brand. If your dog likes to, chew on balls in his mouth, they do have rubber balls that, doesn't have like that tennis material on it. And then they also have, like just the rubber balls. So I don't know, we use the rubber balls, and if you have a weak arm, you're no baseball player like me. They have like this long stick
that the ball goes in the end.
Yeah, and you can chuck it. It's actually crazy because when I do it, it actually goes really far.
It does go very far.
And it makes him run. By the time he comes back, he's like, tired because I can throw it a lot further than what I normally can if I didn't have it.
Yeah.
So this video is not sponsored, but it's just a shout out because we all want good products for our pets, right? They're like our child.
Yeah, so if you are looking for something that is kind of durable and it's fun to play with, because Trumpet loves it. Yeah. Honestly, he loves chasing after it and playing fetch. Sometimes he doesn't always bring the ball back right away.
then you're the one walking across the field,
but
trying to get the ball back.
As long as we have treats in our pocket, we don't have to give him one every time, but he knows we have them.
Yeah,
he'll bring us back the ball. But yeah, that's just a quick little shout out because I know if you guys are looking for something, then definitely look into getting one of those because they are fun to play with and they actually last.
But you know what I also want that I'm waiting for them to make? So I don't know if it's actually already invented, but I want like a machine. You put the ball in to the machine and then it will turn it and then chuck it for you. That's what I think the next invention should be. And if it's already out there, leave where I can find this ball, please.
Throw the Amazon link, the company link in the comments because
help us dog owners out. Share where you get your durable
Yeah.
products from. So shout out to Chuckit. Video is not sponsored though. Anyway, so welcome back to this Thing of Ours podcast.
Where we talk about all of life's highs and lows.
And everything in between.
You know, we never actually introduce ourselves in this podcast.
I know.
I think we did at the very start, but we haven't in a while. So if you're new here, my name is Kurtis.
And I'm Amelia.
And this is This Thing of Ours podcast.
Yep.
Do you want to tell them a little bit about the podcast?
So I would say that this Thing of Ours podcast is really a lifestyle podcast.
Mm-hmm.
We literally talk about the good, the bad, and the real ugly, I think, of life sometimes. A lot of things, that we talk about is like the lessons that were from the past that we learned from the future, and basically kind of like what we're going through.
But like even the bad things, we try to always look for a positive spin on it. Like what positive can we take away from negatives, right?
Yeah.
And I think that's what we should be doing in life.
Mm-hmm.
And I kind of like that about us.
Yeah. And we also talk about, work. We talk about school.
Mm-hmm.
We talk about family, faith. And yeah, that's kind of like, I feel like what we are.
Yeah. And the odd time, we don't do this every single podcast, but you will see some little clips of family events, just
even some new things that we did, like we went rock climbing. We filmed a little bit and talked about our experience there. So it's really just experiences that we're going through. And sometimes we read like an article and we're like, oh, let's talk about this article on this podcast that we read. And that's kind of like where we also do on this podcast. So if that seems like it's something you want to, come along for and join the journey of life with us, so hit that subscribe button if that's something you're interested into, or like this video. We have about 45 episodes here on YouTube and also Spotify and Apple Podcasts. Kurtis, your shirt is very, very summery.
It is. It is. I'm feeling that summer vibe right now.
It's very nice outside.
It's been raining for like the past week straight, but today was absolutely beautiful outside. It was like 22.5 degrees. That's what my car said anyway. Nice and sunny. It was very, very nice out today. A little bit of wind, not too much. So it wasn't like super hot, like sweating hot, but it was very nice out for the first week of May.
Yes, it is.
Yeah. But I got this shirt from Old Navy.
It's really nice. It fits you really nicely.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a nice shirt. It's it represents that summer vibe.
Yeah.
I don't know if people were looking at me in the store because it kind of does stand out.
It kind of gives me like a Hawaiian shirt vibe as well.
But it's a t-shirt. It doesn't have like the buttons or the collar, But I like it. But yeah. So today we did go out and I got myself a bike finally. Yeah.
You've been saying that you wanted a bike since like last year when I got my bike.
Yeah, I meant to get one last year. It just never ended up happening. But yes, finally took that leap of faith and made the decision to finally buy one. And I'm excited to go out tomorrow morning. We're planning to go out tomorrow morning on a little bike ride.
Well, you know what I want to do this summer too? Other than biking, I really want to try to take swimming lessons. Like it's just the thought of it is just in the air right now. But that is something I do want to try again. I want to try to take swimming lessons because I've taken it before when I was younger, but I just kept failing. Did you ever take swimming lessons?
I did take swimming lessons. I don't remember how old I was, but I was under my teens. I know that.
What level did you get up to?
Not sure. It wasn't much. I didn't do great. I can kind of swim. I can doggy paddle. I can
Everybody can doggy paddle.
But I can sort of do the other thing. I'm a little slower than most people. I can kind of swim on my back a little bit. But
hold on. What's most people though? Because we're talking about Michael Phelps.
No.
Is that how you say his name? Michael Phelps?
Yeah.
And then we got the normal people who can't really swim like Michael Phelps. So where are we falling? Below?
I'm a little bit below the normal people.
Okay.
A little bit below that. I mean, I do swim a little bit better than my brother. Sorry to put that out there if you're listening. But it is what it is. Yeah, no. But like I'm not very good. I can make my way to safety if I need to, but that's about it. Trying to float, I don't float. If I go like on my back and I put my legs up, I can get my legs up, but then when I try to hold it, eventually my legs just sink down and then I'm standing
You know
again.
what's funny though? Like so many people, including like my dad and my sister, tell me that they can't float. I know I can't float either because there's been times too where I've been floating and I'm just sinking. So
Does your upper body float or sink? I mean,
I don't know. I haven't been inside a pool in a while. And that's why like I wanted to talk about this because it's so nice out. I felt like I really wanted to go swimming.
okay, yeah, no,
And
because my upper body will stay floating,
Mhm.
and I guess maybe it's because I have air in my lungs. You hold your breath.
I don't know, Curtis. Are you a balloon?
That's how it works.
Oh, is it really?
That
I
is
don't know.
seriously how it works.
Oh my gosh.
You hold your breath, and it does help you float.
Holding your breath makes you float?
Yeah, yeah, it does.
I need to look this up. I don't believe you. No way.
If this is true, please comment below and say yes, he is right.
I'm pretty sure when I was in swimming lessons, I was breathing while I was trying to float. Maybe that's why I never was able to float.
But regardless, like my upper body will stay floating, but my legs will just sink down, and then I'm standing again. I'm like, well, that didn't work.
That's so weird. I don't think so. I think you're doing it wrong. Maybe that's why you're not floating.
Anyway, I don't know what lesson I got to or what level, but I didn't make it very far.
Mhm.
I don't know how to like dive properly. I can't do that. I can do little cannonballs or the pencil.
Mhm. The pencil. Oh, when you're just staying straight and you're jumping.
That I can do.
See, when I do that, I actually sink right down to the bottom. I remember the first time I ever tried that. Like I was petrified because I actually hit the bottom of the deep end, and I was
Yeah.
like, I never did that before. So I'm there like trying to make my way back up to the top. Because I
Yeah.
was panicking, right? I thought I was gonna drown.
Yeah.
I only made it to level 4. I'm not sure if I just mentioned that, but yeah, like I remember every year. I think there was 3 chances that you had to pass,
Mm.
right? And if you pass the first time, well, then you may move on to the higher level. But if you fail, you got to redo that level. And I just remember every year I failed.
Mm.
Every year. And it's so funny because I got to a point where the instructor would just come to my mom and be like, yeah, she didn't pass. My mom would be like, I already knew that. But the craziest part is,
Wow. She had a lot of faith in you in swimming, eh?
well, no, the amount of times you fail at something, I'm not gonna lie, like it was pretty obvious I was gonna fail. But there's been times where like I really put the work in to
Yeah, you
pass. And
really
I
tried,
thought
yeah.
I was gonna like, pass. Like I was doing that 1, 2, 3, breathe. 1, 2, 3, breathe. You know which move I'm talking about?
Yeah, yeah.
And I really I watched videos on it. I really thought I was doing well. Like I even went early
Yeah.
sometimes to my classes. Because the last class I took, I think I was about 13 years old, if
Okay.
I can remember. So I did go early to some classes and I would watch how other people are swimming. So I was like, oh, I can do this. So the entire time I'm thinking, okay, I'm going to pass. And then the instructor told me, no, you didn't pass. And it said weak on swimming or something like that.
Mm.
And I'm
So
like,
she,
again?
yeah, so she basically kept telling you that you will almost never be able to swim
Basically,
properly
yeah.
like everybody else.
Mhm.
Is basically what she was telling you and your mom.
Well, no. Well, see, I was a lot younger before I went back into swimming lessons. So when I was 13, I was like, I want to take swimming lessons again. But my mom actually asked me, do you want to take swimming lessons again? And I said, yeah, I'll take swimming lessons. And then I failed. And I was like, yeah, I'm not going back. I'm not going back because I couldn't pass level 4 from when I was small. I'm like, what makes you think
Yeah.
I'm going to pass level 4 as a teenager?
Yeah.
And now I'm like, I kind of feel ready. I feel like I can try again.
Yeah.
But a part of me is like, am I going to be told no again?
Yeah, yeah. In life, I feel like we get told no so many times for different things. We almost start believing what these people tell us and saying we can't do certain things, right?
Mhm.
I don't know.
Or sometimes we get rejected so many times that like we just believe in the rejection. We just believe it can't happen.
Mm.
Yeah. Like I remember, applying for colleges, day school to go to college back in the day, and I wouldn't get in. I kept applying to different colleges, never got in. And I just kept going to night school in the meantime, part-time, because that's what I wanted to do. Like I saw all my friends doing it at the time and I wanted to do that too. So I was like, okay, I'm going to try to apply again. And then you just get told so many times that every single time when I did apply and I got, the results in the mail, I was like, it's a no. And then I would open it and I would see it's a no. Right. And it's discouraging. It really is discouraging when you just want to, take that route of life, go to school and a school rejects you. Right. But don't get me wrong. Like when you get rejected from anything, like it hurts.
Yeah.
It definitely hurts. So like there's more things of just rejection other than school, right? There's jobs. Like how many jobs have you applied to? Like you're not the only one. There's people out there get rejected every single day when you apply for a job that you went to school for.
Yep.
You paid thousands of dollars.
You're qualified for this position now.
Yeah, based on education alone. And then when you finally get your application in, they tell you, sorry, we're going with a higher or a better applicant. Like that hurts. That really hurts.
Or they ask you, okay, so I see you have the schooling, but what experience do you have? Or you see specifically on the job description, they're asking for 5 years experience. It's like, well, I don't have that.
Yeah.
What do you mean? Like, how am I supposed to get that 5 years experience?
Yeah. And I feel like that's very discouraging as well, right? But now the job market is a lot better. I think so, at least. Now you're more likely to, I think, get a job in depending on what you studied.
Yeah.
But
I feel like one thing that like all the lockdowns and the shutdowns kind of did help. I feel like a lot of people ended up retiring when like they were close to that age and they just made that leap. They're like, well, I'm already off anyway, might as well just retire now. So I feel like it did open up a lot of jobs. So I think it is helping the younger generation fill those now open positions for the better positions, like that people go to school for.
But remember that program you were in at Laurentian, and the teacher said, if you want to be an entrepreneur, just be an entrepreneur. Do not take this entrepreneur.
Yeah, one of my electives was I took.
No, it wasn't elective. It was actually the course. It was business, and it was.
Oh yes, I was specializing in entrepreneurship. So it's business administration, specialized in entrepreneurship. And literally, like within the first week, he said, "This course is basically pointless. If you want to actually be an entrepreneur, just go buy some equipment, go buy whatever you need and just start. Learn that way.
Yeah.
You do not need this course to learn how to be an entrepreneur. Either you got it or you don't." And I was like, wow, he's actually right. So then I went and specialized in finance. But yeah,
I think that was actually a very smart decision, and I have to give props to that professor, because some professors out here be given false hope. They really are.
Yeah.
And like I just remember, going back to the job aspect, I remember when I did get a job in a field that I wanted to be in, I remember the person was very like discouraging.
Yeah.
They were very discouraging towards me. And I was like, yeah, I don't think I want to work. I remember you saying life just beats you down and now you don't even want to do it anymore. I'm like, I know. Like sometimes when you're on your last straw and someone just says something to you, it literally just, breaks the camel's back, and like
the straw that broke the camel's back. Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm like, I just had enough. And I remember like I was taking a break and I was like, you know what? I can't do this.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like, I don't know. Have you ever been rejected, been told no before, other than job, school?
Yeah, I mean, in a trying to get into a relationship, yes.
Who rejected you?
I mean, I'm not gonna throw out her name there, but anyway, there was one girl. We hung out a lot, and I hung out with her and her friends, and my friends hung out with them. So it was more of like a whole like friendship group type thing. I don't know. I actually did like her, but I never, I guess. Maybe I was nervous because I actually did like her. I don't know. I never really, I guess, made it known to her that I wanted to date her.
So what? She friend zoned you?
She basically friend zoned me, yes. And I knew that's what it was.
But you still had hopes that, you get out that friend zone.
I had hopes until she started dating someone else.
You seem traumatized from this experience.
Wow. But yeah, anyway. Yeah, she started dating someone else, so I was like, well, I guess that's what it is.
Well, that's okay, because, God gave you what you needed.
Yep.
Which is me.
Gave me you.
Yes.
Yes.
And
Eventually.
what you needed and what you want. And your mama says, I'm
Yeah.
what you need.
Yeah.
And you're happy.
Yes, dear.
Why do we feel like sometimes we can't do it? Like we can't do certain things?
I don't know. I think it's maybe a confidence thing, which kind of relates to last week's podcast.
Mhm.
I think confidence has a big part to do with it, but I feel like it also has a lot to do with how, like, our experiences as we've grown up. Like,
The amount of times we've been heard no and how we
yeah,
react to it.
yeah, and we do almost start believing it, and eventually we start telling ourselves no for other things because we don't have the confidence to try new things,
Mhm.
right? We don't have the confidence to at least attempt it, but I feel like if we do attempt it, more times than not, you will find out that maybe not the first time, maybe not the second time, but if you keep trying, eventually you'll get that, or you'll achieve that goal, and you'll end up doing it.
Yeah.
But
Is there something you told yourself you can't do?
I mean, I still tell myself I can't dance. I still tell myself I
Like,
can't dance.
what type of dancing though?
Any type of dancing.
Why
I
do you
just
feel like that?
I don't know. I just feel like I don't have rhythm. I just feel like I'd look like a fool on the dance floor,
Mhm.
and I don't feel confident, and I just don't do it.
So what did you do when you went to clubs?
That was
Or
different. That was different. I was drunk.
all right, so let's blame it on the alcohol. Your
Yes.
T-Pain's in the house.
Yes. Yes. Blame it on alcohol. Because once you get a few drinks in you, then you start to loosen up, and you don't really think of what you're doing. That it gives you that self-confidence, or false confidence. That's what it is.
Mhm.
It gives you the false confidence, and yeah, and then you just hop on the dance floor and you just dance.
Or is it the fact that you have something to blame? So when someone comes up to you and says, "Man, you ain't got no rhythm,"
I'm
and
just drunk.
yeah, exactly, right? And he's like, "Well, I have confidence, but I'm just drunk, so I'm just gonna blame it on that.
Yeah.
Right now, I'm not dancing good." I always wanted to take ballroom dancing. Have
Yeah.
you ever done
Like ballroom dancing lessons?
Yeah.
That's what you want to do? Yeah.
Mhm.
I mean, I don't even really and truly know what ballroom dancing is, to be honest.
I think it's just when you hold on to like the woman's back or something.
That thing
Yeah, something like that. I think
where
that's what it
you
is.
hold each other's hand and then one arm on this side.
No, I have my arm. Sorry, I have my hand on your shoulder.
Yeah, but you
And-
hold the hand.
Go
With-
like this.
No? What's that one then?
I don't know.
Yeah, you hold the person's back and you go like this.
What? No, I don't think so. I don't know. You're doing it weird.
I told you I don't know how to dance.
Can you move your hips? Put some
I don't
soca
know.
on.
I might be able to, but behind closed doors, maybe. But in public, I just don't have the confidence to do it. So I need to just allow myself to attempt it. So maybe, yes, maybe if I did lessons, I could build a little bit of confidence doing it. But to throw me out there right now, that'd be like throwing me to the wolves. Yeah, I'd be sweating buckets trying to try it.
Yeah.
Like, like during a wedding when you have to do that like dance in front
Yes.
of everybody and everyone's just
The
silent.
first dance, yeah.
Everyone is silent, just staring at you. Oh man.
But I think that's why people take lessons before they get married, because they know a lot of people don't know how to ballroom dance.
Yeah.
Which I'm assuming that's actually what it's called.
Yeah, I don't know. But yeah. Man, I might faint. If I didn't like take lessons prior to that, I think I might faint.
And Kurtis really doesn't dance. Eh? Like, even when I play music, I'm the one who's dancing, having fun. And then Kurtis is like, that's all he does is the neck motion. Other than that, you don't really do much. I'm like,
Mhm.
come on, move those hips. And he goes like,
I don't even know
sharp moves,
like
offbeat rhythm.
when I went to the club and stuff, I don't even know if I was even dancing or if I was just one of those types of person that
Stomp
kind of
against the wall.
stood up against the wall and like that was it. Just kind of move a little bit, but not much.
Yeah.
I feel like I know that's what I did before I got a couple drinks in me. But after, then once I didn't remember what I was doing,
Mm-hmm.
I don't really remember. But
So what you're saying is you're a hot mess on the dance floor.
I think so.
secretly.
Anyway, I do know that if you do attempt something and you actually put a little bit of effort in,
Mm-hmm.
over time, you will end up, more times than not, achieving what you set out to do.
Yeah, as long as you don't keep telling yourself no. There's actually
Exactly.
like a quote out there. I actually really like this quote. It's one of my favorite ones. I'm going to read it. Let me go on Pinterest. What if I fall? Oh, but my darling, what if you fly? You
Yeah,
know,
no,
and it's
that
true.
it is a good quote, because
Mhm,
we're always worried about just failing and falling,
mhm.
but if
What
you would,
if you do fly? If you
mhm,
just stop telling yourself no.
yeah, no, it's true. Yeah, you don't know what you can achieve until you actually attempt it.
Mhm. When I think about that quote, like the whole "what if I fall," I think about that like when I'm about to attempt something new, and then I think about the other half of the quote, "But what if I fly?"
Hmm.
You know, and I think, and I feel like everything that we do, there's a possibility that there's going to be a rejection. There's going
Yeah.
to be the word no, right? And sometimes I think about. So I remember there was a place where I really, really wanted work. Like I had my hopes up for this place, and they didn't call me back, but then they did. Like I had the interview and everything, and then they told me they'll call me, and they didn't call me back. And I had like really high hopes for this place. And then they finally called me back saying, "Yeah, we want to give you the job." So I was like, "Oh my God, finally, yes, this is it. You know, this is what God's showing me. This is where I'm gonna go." And then when I got the job and I was working, I was like, "Yeah, this job isn't really what I thought I wanted," you know? And sometimes I feel like, did I make that decision myself, or did I allow God to direct me in that decision? Or did he put me in that position to show me this is not the place where, I want you to be in? Almost like he had to show me like, I know this is what you wanted, but now you see that this is not where you need to be, or this is not where
Yeah,
you should
yeah,
be, and I left that place and I found a job that paid me better,
yeah.
that, that allowed me to learn more as well there. So I was happy where I am. I was completely happy. And I actually felt like, okay, I feel like this is kind of like where I needed to be.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's sometimes I feel like we have to go through lessons of really realizing that I know you hoped and prayed for this, and now you realize, oh, it's not what you cracked up to be. And then there's
Yeah.
other time where God's like, no, I'm going to give you something better.
Yeah. So
And,
even sometimes, like when you're told no,
mm,
or you do technically fail,
or get
it
rejected.
it's not that's not the end, right? That's basically what you're saying. Like
Mm.
there's always some type of positive takeaway.
Or there's something better. There's
Yeah.
usually something better.
Hmm.
Because now when I think about it, I'm like, wow, I thought I wanted X, Y, and Z, but really and truly, like, God had a much bigger plan for me,
Yeah.
and I'm really happy
Yep.
with where I was.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I agree.
And I'm really
Um.
grateful that I didn't get what I wanted at the time. He
Yeah.
gave me, like, basically, really and truly what I needed.
So, how would you say, or what kind of things would you say you would use to cope with rejection, like in your mind, or what would you do?
Honestly, when I get told no, the first thing I actually say is, okay, God, I got told no, this is for a reason. This happened for a reason. Just direct me in your path.
Okay.
That's literally what I say to myself. Well, everything happened for a reason. God, I know you got something better for me. I'm ready.
At least I hope you do.
No, I always know he has something
Yeah,
better for
yeah.
me,
No,
right?
I
There's
know.
no hope. I
Yeah,
know he does,
yeah.
right? And I take it as, well, I shouldn't work there for a reason.
Okay.
That's literally how I take it. That's how I deal with rejection now. All right, you told me, because I've been told no a lot.
Hmm.
Not just job, school, relationships.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
got rejected a lot of times. So eventually I'm like, hey, everything happens for a reason. The breakup happens for a reason. You left your job, you gotten fired, or everything has to happen the way it has to happen.
so
That's
it's
something that pushes me to
yeah,
keep
so
going
basically
now.
what you're saying, it's not personal, so basically don't blame yourself. It's
Yeah.
nothing against you.
Hmm.
It's just a stage in life that you had to go through, a lesson you learned. And yeah, you just keep moving forward and don't blame yourself, right? Is
Yeah.
that kind of what you're saying?
Yes, and I also feel like sometimes God is protecting
Mm-hmm.
me from something, or protecting you from something. So that's how I see it. I don't know.
Yeah.
How do you cope with rejection?
I mean, I would say like you gotta strengthen yourself, kind of build a little bit of confidence. So strengthen your resilience
Hmm.
towards being rejected, being told no, failing at certain things. I've been listening to this podcast lately. It's a guy named Bedros Keulian. So it's the Bedros Keulian Podcast. It is on Spotify. He's got a YouTube channel as well. I mentioned in the last podcast, actually, that was the first one that I started listening to recently. That kind of got me back motivated and like changed my mindset again from just the dull everyday routine that I kind of got myself in, and kind of got me into wanting to try new things again. But basically what he was saying in one of them that I listened to that relates to this specifically is stacking small wins.
Okay.
So as soon as you wake up in the morning, you start winning at just small little things, right? Like you set your alarm, you said you were going to wake up at this time, actually wake up at that time, and then you won. Like you said you were going to do what you did what you said you were going to do, and you basically won that task.
So you basically did a small win today, like when you got your bike.
Yes, I said I was going to get a bike, and I got myself a bike. Now I got to go out and actually use it, and things like that. But he says to stack those small wins, because like if you don't, like let's say the one example, you don't actually get up when your alarm goes off and you hit snooze, and you're already like hurting your self-confidence because now you basically didn't do what you said you were going to do. So, and then those things keep happening throughout the day, right? Anyway, if you want to check it out, Bedros Keulian Podcast, YouTube, Spotify, whatever. That I found it on Spotify. It actually is very motivational.
Yeah, we'll leave a link to his podcast, I guess, in the description below as well.
I truly do believe that stacking those small wins will help build confidence throughout the day, right?
I'm curious to know what the internet says, what Google says, what's out there on, how to deal with or cope with rejection. I wrote how to Google. My goodness.
How to Google.
Yeah.
Wow.
Okay. So 4 strategies to cope with rejection according to Psychology Today. This was written back in 2021. So 1 is acknowledge the pain and grief of the loss. So basically saying that, I failed. I had to acknowledge that it does hurt, because a lot of the times, I cry. I'm not going to lie. I've cried multiple times when I've been rejected or, heard the word no, because who really wants to feel that way, right?
Yeah.
So acknowledge the pain, but I feel like once you acknowledge it, just kind of move on from it and don't stay there, right? Don't hold on to that no for so long, because then it's going to really mess you up. That's what I'm going to say.
Yeah.
Second is, like you said, don't blame yourself. I'm not sure. Did we say that before? We said don't blame yourself.
Yeah. You were saying something else, but I kind of took it as don't blame yourself. Right?
Yeah, that's true. I don't think we should blame ourselves, because I feel like everything happens for a reason, And then third is strengthen your resiliency. That's something you mentioned.
Yep.
Right? And then fourth one, the last one, is keep putting yourself out there.
Yeah, just keep trying. Just keep trying, because eventually you will succeed, right? May not be the first time, may not be the second time, but eventually you just keep trying. You'll learn new lessons every time you do.
Yeah.
And you'll get to where you want to be if you just don't give up.
And like one thing too is that you almost feel like you're the only one in the whole world. Like this is just happening to you and you only, and no one else in the world gets rejected or told no. That's literally how it happens in that moment.
Yeah.
But just know, like really truly, you're not the only one.
It's nothing personal.
Yeah.
It's just one step in the process.
Yeah.
If you're listening to this podcast, what advice would you give to other listeners? Because something we said may not have caught their ear. So maybe some advice that you guys have, if you leave it in the comments below, and someone else that might be what they need to hear.
Yeah.
So I encourage you, please leave a comment below of what advice you would give to someone if they're being told no, or they don't believe in themselves, or
they have to deal with rejection.
Yeah.
Consistently.
Yeah. Maybe something we said didn't connect with them as much as what you have to offer. Yeah. Right. So.
All right. So that was just, a lesson that we learned this week was how to deal with rejection and how to take the word no and what to do when you get told no, from a job, school, whatever it is in life. in Kurtis' case, he learned to keep up with me when there's danger outside because he about to get left behind.
Yep, apparently.
Yeah. So if you have any topics that you want us to cover, let us know in the comment section below. Like I said, the conversation doesn't end just with me and Kurtis. It includes you as well. So we'd love to talk to you guys. Let us know what you're thinking. And if you like this video, hit that thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel. Join the family because it helps us out a lot.
Yep.
And we will see you guys in the next one.
Yeah, so thanks for spending some time with us today, and we'll see you in the next one.
Peace.